Right, let's just have a quick look at how to do some calculations then with density. So, you know, if we know the formula, then this should be relatively straightforward. But remember, you know, you don't want to get this confused, and actually the concept of density is more important. Okay, but let's have a look. If we have this in front of us, then any calculation should be pretty straightforward, as you said. So we've got a mass on this question, and we've got a volume. Calculate the density of the concrete block. So density equals mass over volume. So literally all you need to do is just do that there. You pop it into your calculator. Okay, if you pop it into your calculator, it turns out to be 2,300. Now, what are the units of this? It was kilograms per meter cubed. Now, the only real kind of mistake that people tend to make on these, if you know this, and you've got the confidence just to go with this, because the maths with this is okay. It's just the context of the question is where people get a little bit lost. Like, it sounds really complicated, but it's not really. And where people get a little bit confused sometimes is with the units. Now, if they wanted to make it a little bit harder, they could tell me the volume and they could say centimeters cubed rather than meters cubed, and then they ask me to leave the answer kilograms per meter cubed. So the easiest thing then is to make the transfer up here. Okay, I do it here rather than here. And that's another problem within itself. Obviously there's 100 centimeters to a meter, but there's not 100 centimeter cubes to 1 meter cube, right? That doesn't work in the same way, and that's going to be a different story, okay, that we need to look into. Pressure is exactly the same idea. So let's just have a quick look at one quick example of pressure. So if we know that pressure is equal to force over area, which is what we should know, then anything that we need to do should be, again, reasonably okay. The only thing to really think about is the units actually involved. So if an object is resting with its base on a horizontal ground, the area of the object's base, so we've got the area just there, and this is going to be the force. So what pressure is the object exerting on the ground. So remember, pressure equals force over area. Right? So remember, we've talked about this. Hopefully you've sort of seen a little clip before, just explaining pressure, explaining density. So here, the pressure is equal to the force divided by the area, and that's going to be 3, and that's 3 newtons per centimeter squared. Okay, remember again, the only other kind of area where it might kind of catch you out is if it mixes the units up. You know, if it wants it in terms of newtons per meter square and it's giving you centimeter squares up here. So it's just something to look out for. Okay, so you can have a go at trying to do some questions. Right, so off you go.